why don't we take a moment to touch on the 5 principles of Sanchin, or some people say the 5 factors of Sanchin. But I think we can do this relatively quickly. So the first one, usually, that we talk about is stance. And I remember years ago, I used to think, well, okay, so yeah, my feet, back foot straight, front foot crooked, knees bent, hips tucked under. All right, got it, stance. No, it's not just your feet or even your feet and legs. It's your whole body. You could say
consolidation.
Yeah. So you could say practicing the fundamental defensive position, you could say. Sounds more interesting, right? More important too. It's your whole body, kind of what your body's doing in the kata, I think is a good way to think of it. So that's a much more comprehensive concept than just, making sure the geometry of your feet are right. Right.
That's right.
You want to take one?
Sure. Breathing. Breathing's important. First of all, if you hold your breath long enough, you probably pass out. And
not recommended.
Yeah, it's not recommended. So part of martial arts training is learning how to be efficient with your breathing and making sure that you're taking in a sufficient amount of oxygen so that you can maintain your practice or self-defense or whatever it is. It's also a calming factor. So if you learn how to use your breathing to calm your mind, it's very helpful. So in Sanchin, because the movements are not as complicated as maybe other things that you learn, it's a good place to be introduced to the rhythmic breathing in through your nose and then back out through your mouth. I don't know if people can relate to this. I didn't always, but heard sort of like a bellows, right? When you open the bellows, you take in air, and then when you push it out, it releases the air. So if you think you need to breathe from your diaphragm, some principles that help is if you put the tip of your tongue on the back top of your teeth, it helps to kind of create that sort of pressurization that happens in a bellows. So, the idea is you push the air out, and then you naturally will, when you open your diaphragm up again, you'll naturally breathe in the amount of air that you need to replace what you breathed out. So, and then finding the rhythm that's proper for you. When we're doing Sanchin, we make it deliberate, right? So there's a couple schools of thought, you breathe in here, release it there. Or you breathe in here, release it there. So the last time we were in Okinawa, the release was when you chambered. It's not right or wrong. It's just a matter of finding
personal preference.
Right. Finding the proper rhythm for you to make sure that you're breathing as naturally as possible. The funniest thing, wasn't funny, but one of the most interesting things that happened for me in our visits to Okinawa, especially the earlier ones, whenever you asked about breathing, it was always natural. Breathe natural. Yeah. You're like, okay. But some people.
If I breathe naturally, I wouldn't make a sound usually, so.
Well, the sound is partly one, I believe, so that anyone who your sensei can make sure you're breathing and see if your rhythm and timing is working with your movement. And I also believe that it can help train you to do a ki-ai eventually, right? Because a ki-ai to me is an exaggerated breath out with more noise, right? So we talk when we label breathing with the children, we say dragon breathing or like a fire breathing dragon, right? So you're releasing your fire, So yeah.
Let's talk about what people usually say, spiritual concentration. This is what they used to say. So again, when I saw that, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm concentrating on what I'm doing when I do that. I got that. That's good. But there's more to it than that, like usual. It's the FMZ thing, I think, that we talked about recently. Fudo Shin, Mushin, Sanchin. So it's all about staying calm, getting yourself calm, focusing, clearing your mind, and being aware. All of that should be happening when you do your Sanchin. So it's like moving meditation. All right. Next. You want eye or?
I was going to take eye. Yep.
Okay, I'll do strength.
Penetrating eye and acute insight. With the children, we say tiger's eye. So focusing on a point and using your eye to concentrate, but also, even though you're looking straight ahead, still being able to use your peripheral vision to see as far around you as possible. Obviously, we're not an owl or the Blair Witch Project. No, that's just where you can spin your head all the way around. But the whole idea is using your eye to concentrate, to focus, and to help yourself stay aware of what's happening around you, right? So even though I'm looking straight ahead, I can still see Sensei Mark. I can still see over here where the clock is. You can't see the clock because it's not on the video, but the idea is, using my eye,
be able to see the clock.
using my eye to focus. The other thing is, if you look someone in the eye, sometimes the eyes can say a lot without having to use any words. So that's part of it too.
Yeah. And a lot of these things, they all connect together.
Yes.
Like you can't, it doesn't pay to, okay, well, I'll do the breathing and I'll do the stance thing, but I'm not going to bother with the other. No, they all complement each other.
That's right.
They're all connected. So you need to try to make an effort to do them all. Mm-hmm. So the last thing is strength, right? Strength. And again, strength, easy, right? I'm trying to be strong here. This is good. No, it's a specific kind of strength. It's what we call pliable strength. So that you activate the muscles in your body, but you're not stiff. You can move well and fluidly and like that. So in Okinawa, they liken it to this rice paste that they make desserts out of. It's called muchemi, which is it's kind of like taffy or something. So it's soft, but it also has some strength to it. So that's something that. The way that they describe that, but ultimately you learn these things by practicing and training and stuff, and so hopefully that helps. So and I think
we introduced that at Sanchin, but just like Sanchin is sort of the base of what we do, that those 5 elements should be incorporated into all of your material.
Exactly. Now, so when you do your other exercises, these principles should be there too, but it's just, I guess less emphasis on that. Like by the time you start to do other exercises, if you've been around for a few years or even a few months, you should be able to start bringing these ideas to the other things that we do. Ultimately, all of the things we do should have those in there. Believe it or not, when we went to back in around late 2002, I'll say, we did an article in the newsletter about breathing in this style, Uechi-Ryu. What is the right way to breathe and stuff like that. Because after we took over the Pittsfield School, a lot of people were asking about that. So we wrote this article, and a lot of people thought they enjoyed that and it helped them and stuff like that. And then we went to Okinawa in November of 2003 for the first time, and we went to trained one night, and we went to eat and stuff after that. And Sensei Takamiyagi, who was like the greatest thing ever, the greatest person ever, he said to us at one point, "Who wrote
He's a scholar?"
Yeah, very, very smart guy and fantastic, martial artist. But he said, "Who wrote the article in your newsletter about breathing?" Right. And we looked at each other and we're like, "Well, we did."
Collaborated, we did.
We did. And he goes, I really enjoyed that article. I enjoyed it so much that I translated it into Japanese and shared it with my students.
With his students. That was like the highest honor ever.
And we were just like, unbelievable, I guess we got that right. So, and I think what we should do is, now that we have so much time in the quarantine,
bring it up again.
we should try to find it. And I think we reprinted it at one point.
Yeah,
maybe
and
10
I
years
think
ago. But
I think it was the 5 factors, and the breathing. We made breathing central to those.
Right.
I think if I remember correctly, it was breathing was a central part of the article, but it was encompassing all of the things we're talking about now. So we'll do the next one.
We'll have to dig that out.
Yeah.